Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Ball is by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is December 29th, Thursday. Holy crap. I hate to be that cliche, but 2022 has flown, right? Come on.
I can't wait. I was really looking forward to the end of the show. See y'all next year.
Yeah, that's going to be I guess you just called dibs on that joke. That's unfortunate. That's the grandest dad jokes of them all. But yeah, I mean, and we had, how much fun did we have in 2022?
Oh, dude, it was the best.
Basketball in February, February, I guess, wins the SEC championship, beating Kentucky in the tournament. Like, it's the best of the best.
Then you had baseball, and then
baseball just entertained you for like months.
Yeah,
and then football. It was awesome.
It just seemed like it never stopped, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, I can't believe it's come to an end for obviously basketball starting up. Tennessee grinds out a win, nothing to brag about. But
yeah, we
got the
just
win.
got to get used to it at this point. It's what it's going to be.
I agree, but you did get the win. So I mean, I think there'll be some fun ones in there, and I hope, especially with it being in Thompson Boyne Arena, I think January 14th. I think it'll be a fun day. But yeah, so I mean, football. We're going to talk about it too throughout the show, I'm sure. With Tennessee season coming to end in Miami tomorrow night, I think you got to be nervous about this one. I think you got to be nervous about it if you're Clemson though too. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah, I mean, this is the toughest preview I feel like we've ever done, just because there's so many unknowns. You know, it's kind of like two different teams. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like it's like the first game of the season.
Yeah, very much so. And the funny thing is you're also getting two brand new quarterbacks, and neither actually due to transfer or drafting. Like both those quarterbacks would have been starting anyways. So it's kind of another interesting, like two brand new quarterbacks for both teams that have played backup time. I mean, I know, well, Joe Milton started, 2 games before being injured against Pitt. So I guess that one, you've seen a little bit more of, but still two very unknowns.
Yeah, for all you Game of Thrones fans, battle the backups. I love it.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm sorry. I know I've watched Game of Thrones, but I'm not very good at knowing plots.
Well, they just have
I watched it too fast. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering how backup would come.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually named backup, but yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
Forgive me. You don't know what Cade Klubnik is going to give you, but you also have no clue what Joe Milton is going to do either. So,
yeah, it's and if I'm Clemson fans too, I'm probably trashing Joe Milton, which gives me hope because I'm wrong a lot. And I'd probably be saying, like, we've seen what Joe Milton is, and now he has a chance to go out and prove that he improved and made the right changes, because he does. He has so much talent. It's just like he hasn't been able to bottle it up yet, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like he's a little like smoother up to this point. DJ Uyunglele.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all there, but it's like, what's going on?
It's very interesting because it's a lot of people just want to chalk it up to like one specific thing, but it's just it seems like it's just like a few few tiny things, and I don't know. It's very weird. Like, is it as simple as touch? I don't think it is.
I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, it needs to be under control tomorrow night, because I feel like that's, we asked the question today, who's your X factor? I mean, Joe Milton's an easy answer there, and I want to take it a little bit further when we finally talk about that question. But man, like this is the last game. Like, I'm sure Josh Heupel and this offense, they're gonna have different wrinkles. They're gonna game plan. Joe Milton's, he's going to use his legs. He didn't have to against Vanderbilt, and maybe that was frustrating because the game was just frustrating in general. I mean, we destroyed them, but the fact that we were able to run so much on them and Joe Milton, just like, we just never really saw anything but him. He had that one good throw, and then after that, it was just a bunch of overthrows and miscues. So yeah, I'm good for Joe Milton, but hopefully this is a good kind of. I mean, this is a tryout for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to have to go win it anyway next year. But this is like, I mean, if he plays bad, I don't like, he wouldn't be the front runner, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a front runner, to be
correct.
Clear.
Yes.
I think that, just to be sure, like, we haven't seen Nico, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But it's just not Nico at that point. But we've seen. I wonder if this. I don't know if this could elevate Joe's play enough. He's had this before. Which it's not even a real this one isn't even a real competition, and like, he's getting a head start. And it seems like
it's his to lose, and he could. I think he could do himself very little favors on Friday night if he plays bad.
Yeah. I'm cheering for him. Like, I think.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
well,
it seems like everybody else loves him too.
Right, and it's just he's one of those guys you really, really root for, and I hope he figures it out too. And I think if he does, a lot of people are nervous. We knew we were going to have Cedric Tillman out. Jalen Hyatt was, like a 90%, I guess. I don't know what we would have placed him at. He was definitely going to the draft. I think everyone thought there was a slim chance of him playing the bowl game. But anyways, he still has weapons around him. Like, he's going to have the opportunity against Clemson to show out. I mean,
right. I mean, the whole like opt-out thing is a little strange because, like, you have people like entering the transfer portal. I think Coastal Carolina had a center that was committed to North Carolina but played in a bowl game for Coastal Carolina. I mean, it was just like I just don't understand. Like, Grayson McCall, I just assumed he wasn't playing.
Yeah, but I kind of respect it. I do. I kind of like it.
As a coach, though, you don't like. I'm not playing those guys. If you're one, I think Shane Beamer, and I don't want to like quote him, on me agreeing with it, but he did say, I don't want to play a guy who's 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Like, that's just a waste.
I don't entirely disagree with that in the sense of it feels like you should move on since we know everybody's moving on. But I also kind of respect that he finishes out a season that, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I don't know if there was a chance. I guess you could have said Jamie Chadwell leaves, Grayson McCall's leaving. I guess that would have been something that could have happened, but you didn't know it, and you signed on for that season. And I kind of respect just finishing it out. And if I am the Coastal Carolina coach, can't remember his name, I know he's taken over for Coastal, I want to win that bowl game. Like, I'm selfish in that sense. I want the win. And Grayson McCall gave Coastal Carolina the best chance to win.
They did. Did they win? They did not win.
Golly, they didn't win. They did cover, right?
I think they covered my teaser.
Yeah.
Over definitely.
Like, regardless if they won or not, Grayson McCall was. I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be great, like, anywhere else. It seems like that kind of like he was very much a Coastal Carolina quarterback.
Yeah, maybe it's a little different than, if I'm trying to think of somebody who had, if Jimmy Holiday was entering the transfer portal and he was back there returning kicks. I've been like, dude, get somebody else back there returning kicks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice way to put it. Yeah.
But you do have Cedric Tillman. You mentioned Jalen Hyatt. Hendon Hooker's not playing. Jeremy Banks, he can say he declared for the draft. Everybody knows.
That's still, I don't know. I guess it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
If that's true, if he is literally academically ineligible, he wouldn't have got to play in a bowl game, in the playoff.
Right. And two, I don't know. I guess I feel like if you have it below it, I mean, I guess you could just be, I don't know. I don't get it. I guess if you had a below at 2.0, you could graduate. But it seems like if it's very weird.
Yeah.
Very strange. I don't know what to believe. This is
he's not playing.
Theory.
If he really did declare and he opted out of the bowl game, I think that's even shittier. Because I mean, you would only help yourself in a bowl game if you played well. Darnell Wright's playing in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, Will Anderson's playing in a bowl game. In a bowl game that Alabama fans are pissed that they're even in. So, I just think this is a program changing game tomorrow night, and it sucks that Tennessee's kind of has a lot of people out. A lot of those guys that got them there. Hendon Hooker. We mentioned Cedric Tillman, Jalen Hyatt, Jeremy Banks. I mean, those four guys were huge in the success of Tennessee the last few years. So it sucks that we're playing without them. But, you have a chance to win 11 games. You have a chance to win a New York Six Bowl for the first time since 2005. I think the last time we won 11 games was 2001. So, again, just building on the success. And, I think this is a huge game Friday night for this program. And again, I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, and
the Taco Bell I ate earlier is not sitting well already.
Well, and I guess it's not completely a win-loss scenario in terms of the program. I do think this could really, really boost your program, but I also think it's a win sort of for Tennessee because it also doesn't necessarily set your program back, this loss. Because like you said, you're missing so many pieces that you had, I guess, somewhat of a quick turnaround to get ready for Clemson.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily set you back. So I think you can kind of go balls to the wall and don't worry about it because it doesn't necessarily have to set you back.
Yeah. Yeah. So this game, I mean, Tennessee's got to get comfortable on offense. That starts with Joe Milton, but I think it starts with play calling. I think you want to do some short passes to kind of get him comfortable. Lean on that running game. I mean, we've lifted it up against Vanderbilt. I know it's Vanderbilt, but, I think this offensive line's still intact, so that's good. You have Darnell Wright. I mean, use them. Use those backs you got. Give me more Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't know how healthy Jabari Small is because, he battled a lot of stuff through the season, just, I guess, nagging shoulders. Well, yeah, very true. But you do, I feel like, right now you need him in the sense of he's not going to make a ton of breakout plays, but he's going to get you what you need oftentimes.
Right.
And so I think he's an important piece to have and have for the entire game. But yeah, I mean, I think you want to see Jalen Wright, who's been explosive, and Dylan Sampson, who can fly when you need that guy. But I think it's interesting. Another point you mentioned, play calling. I mean, I know Josh Heupel's the man when it comes to offense, but I mean, Alex Golesh had that responsibility. And so I'm curious to see how similar it is or what Josh Heupel can do to maybe even tune it up a little bit if you can tune it up. So I'm very interested to see that part of the story too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Another one we heard Princeton fan, he released his graphic saying that he is declaring for the NFL draft. He is playing in the bowl game. I think that's a guy you got to utilize. I mean, he was all over the field this season, using a ton of different ways. So I think this is a big game for him. Clemson's we mentioned Tennessee's shorthanded, so is Clemson. I mean, freshman quarterback starting his first every college game against Tennessee. I mean, Tim Banks, if you're not blitzing all night, I don't know what you're doing.
You talk about a program changer. I feel like this is a break the curse game because any Tennessee team in the last 15 years, this would be a breakout game for said quarterback. So turn that curse, flip it on them, and that's a curse.
Hopefully his coming out game was in the ACC championship against North Carolina. Hopefully that's what it was. I mean, I know Tennessee's defense isn't good, but North Carolina's is, I mean, borderline. I don't even know why they put 11 guys out there, honestly. I mean, it's horrible.
That big, I think it was a throw across the middle that went to the house. And, I mean, just the most atrocious tackling I've ever seen in my life. The pursuit and tackle was pitiful.
Yeah. I mean, that game against Appalachian State, you're like, good God. I mean, who is the defensive coordinator? Is it Gene Chizik?
I'm not sure.
Or is Chizik an offense?
No, Chizik's offense.
Okay. Who is the defense? Whoever it is, I mean, holy crap.
It's pitiful.
Yeah.
I think it's more than just the coordinator, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't help the situation at all.
Yeah, but Clemson's offense hasn't been good all season. And I think a lot of it had to do with DJ, but some of it was just like they couldn't move the football. They got Will Shipley, who's going to be, a tough guy to stop. And, I mentioned us blitzing all night. You still got to be able to cover tight ends. He's got some good tight ends. Jake Brinkenstool, I think, from Ravenwood is a guy. They have another guy that's pretty good. And then Will Shipley out of the backfield. I mean, he's explosive. Phil Moffice, explosive. So you have the guys that he can kind of check it down to. Tennessee's got to tackle well, and cover in the middle. So safeties, linebackers, this is their game. I want to see more Wesley Walker. Sorry to whoever he takes their spot, but it is what it is. Wesley Walker is a better option than one of those two guys back there. And then linebacker, I mean, it's going to be a heavy dose of Juwan Mitchell and Aaron Beasley. And we'll see who plays after them, Sloan Page or Elijah Herring. But, those guys got to tackle a lot better than they did against South Carolina. And they got to cover a lot better than they did against South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the bad thing. What South Carolina did to you, I think, is I can't decide if how good Spencer Rattler was in that game. It just also looked very easy, which may be a credit to him. Honestly, maybe a credit to him. So I hope it was Spencer Rattler was being very good that night. And you can I think that's the biggest thing though is you didn't touch Spencer Rattler. You got to get to the quarterback, and that, I mean, it's that simple. And I mean, I know it's not all on the defensive line when I say that. It was pitiful.
But those are your erasers. South Carolina. Up front are your erasers. That's if you have back end issues, your guys up front are the ones that mask that. And they did against South Carolina, and we paid for it.
I don't think they could have. That's what I don't think anything could have erased that. Is what I mean. But yeah,
right. It just seemed like it was not going to be our night. Like everything that could have went wrong, we lost our quarterback.
I feel like I'm going to throw up thinking about that night.
I mean, it was
like I did that night.
The worst of the worst happened. But yeah, it's the defensive line has to get home. I mean, if you're going to blitz like that, you got to get home, or you're going to leave people open.
Please
do something.
Please,
that stick meme. Do something.
Find what you had in Baton Rouge. Is this maybe it's something about that ocean air? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Get to the quarterback.
That salt in the air.
Yeah. Ooh.
Or was it must?
Both mixtures.
Yeah. But another thing is like you can't have those like lapses because you don't have Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyde to make up for it.
Yeah.
If you allow a big play, it was, hey, we got it the next time down the field. But this is a little different with Joe Milton. Now I think X factor, we can go ahead and get into that if you want, but X factor wise, I think if Tennessee wins this game, I think Brew McCoy has a huge game. I think you want to lean on him. You want to get him going early. and I think he's your go-to guy. You know, you want to throw up a bomb. I think he's got to go get it. Squirrel White is another one, but you know, talking about a jump ball, I mean, I'd like to see Bru McCoy against any DB.
Yeah, and I had the same thought process as you in terms of offense, but I went with the simple one. It's Joe Milton, because I think it's on the offense. I just and not to say that the defense just can't do it, but I think a lot of the struggle with the defense is how often they are on the field and that they just are going to give up big plays. So it's challenging. And Tennessee, no matter that it's Joe Milton starting, they're going to run the same style offense. It's not going to be slowed down. It's going to be the fast paced as it normally is. So the defense is just, I don't think they can play much better. So it's on Joe Milton. You got to find ways to move the football, and we got to score, and we got to have the ability to do it quick, because I don't know. And I think the defense has a chance. I like the matchup in terms of, I think it's Tennessee's best versus Clemson's best in terms of offense versus defense. So I like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're shorthanded on defense. They're losing Trenton Simpson, Miles Murphy, two guys that'll probably go early in the NFL draft. You have Brian Breesy, he's still playing. Barrett Carter at linebacker, still really good. So they got some NFL top guys still on my defense, but they're ranked 24th in total defense in the country. Yeah, like they got some dudes. Miles Murphy's pretty good, but they also are in the ACC. So can we really just like take that into account that like, hey, your defense is really good because you stopped ACC offenses?
Yeah, I
and they got boat raced by Notre Dame. Let's not forget that.
The ACC is not. It's just not on the tier that the SEC is in the sense of night in, night out.
Yeah, nowhere close.
Which it is. It is going to be fun to see because the SEC is obviously struggling in bowl games so far. Arkansas barely head above water.
I'm still like butthurt about it.
So I teased it. Did I tell you that? And so when it went to the second overtime, I teased it to where Kansas covered.
Like I could have killed Sam Pittman last night. Like really could have killed him. I mean, how does that even happen? You're up 15 with under 2 minutes left and somehow go to overtime? Unreal.
I loved it. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation because we're talking about ACC versus SEC. And it's not necessarily going to be those two. It's just going to be the power. Is SEC above it? So I can't wait for that conversation. It's going to be all over Twitter. Good. There'll be some good hot takes, and I'm excited for it.
Thank you.
I don't. How do you said it's going to be hard to preview this game? I don't know how to do it. Just because
I have no idea like how to pick it. Like
I don't know who you can rely on, honestly.
Yeah, I mean it's the only real like game you can look at where this offense is kind of the same as Vanderbilt. And well, I mean, we could have had anybody back there running the football and go to the house. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I just really want to win this game just because I think it'll be huge for this program. And Dabo Swinney is the most annoying person in the entire world.
Yeah, I'm going to stop using the word hate, but I do just really dislike him.
It's just so.
It's the NIL stuff was.
Yeah, he's going to stop coaching. You're still coaching, you ass.
The God comment. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, but we're made in his name, image, and likeness. It's just like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, blow that smoke up somebody else's. I mean, like it's cool that he's like a very religious and is all about faith and stuff like that. That's cool. Like if you're about that, but it's like You can't spin every little thing that you
Yeah.
dislike and just make it, oh, it's in God's name. It just
No,
comes
yeah,
off.
it
It's very just fake.
Very, very dishonest. I
Yeah.
do not like him.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Yeah, so that's my preview, I guess. That's it. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else for.
Just please
Let's
Joe
okay.
Milton.
I
run
don't
the
have a-
football. Run the football.
Landon, I
Um,
honestly don't have a score prediction for you.
I'm sticking in the 30s. I feel like that's safe. I'm going to go 38-31 Tennessee.
I agree.
I just don't feel like I feel like it's going to be a little rowdy. And I feel like we get after Cade. I feel like his coming out party is gone. Reality's setting back in. He's come back to earth. And I think Tennessee's defense does enough to get a win. You're going to have turnovers. I feel like if you're able to get them in punting situations, let them punt. I want D. Williams to have the football as many times as possible. So punt the ball.
Yeah, I agree that
Sometimes I'd rather have D. Williams catching a punt than Joe Milton have the football and throwing it. So I like my chances better.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is if you're going to make me pick a score, I think this is a game where you see both teams lose some of that offensive firepower. I think it's we'll say 35-31.
Yeah.
Stick in the 30s, low 30s. So that
Stop watching the basketball team. Don't do anything they do.
Man, all right. Let's move on from this because I'm nervous and I don't want to.
Yeah.
The nerves are reeking off me.
So go ahead.
Well, I know we want to talk about returning players. We talked about some of the guys that were leaving, but we did have some guys announce that,
Yes.
that they decided already in terms of a couple 6-year guys, I guess.
Yeah, Aaron Beasley's coming back. Amari Thomas is coming back, and then Tyler Barron says he's undecided, which I'm not trying to be a butthead, but what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think he's a guy who needs to come back,
Yeah, for sure.
and I think Aaron Beasley is a guy who needs to come back for Tennessee. That he took a big step this year. I know I'll be the first to admit I doubted him. I did not.
Sure.
I thought it was going to. I think Jerry Banks played good throughout the season. Obviously, we saw that we needed him, but I think without Aaron Beasley, I think that defense looks not so good as well. And he took a huge step, and I'm excited to see. I really believe that he takes the next step now. He proved me a doubter, and that was.
Also,
He's a glue guy, I think, for this defense next year.
Yeah, I agree. Also, going back to Tyler Barron, Rodney Garner's your coach.
Yeah.
It's same with Jordan Phillips or somebody that we talked about it with Eric Kane. We didn't understand really why he played sparingly, not very much, but it's dude, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
And Rodney Garner's your coach. You're gonna get your shot in the NFL if you play for Rodney Garner. That just usually happens.
Absolutely.
So I just don't understand why you'd want to enter the transfer portal and go somewhere else, unless you legit think I'm never going to play here.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. Those are I think those are the big talking points. I want to move on to basketball.
We do have a sponsor.
Oh, we just got right into the show, Landon. I'm so sorry. You want to read that off, and then we'll get into basketball after?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me pull that back up.
That was my problem. I'm sorry. I turned that on you.
We love Underdog Collectibles. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectibles store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autograph helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT grads, and proudly supports UT Sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by. They are at University Commons by Publix and Domino's. Go check them out. We love them. I actually got to utilize them on Christmas. Got some packs of cards in my stocking. So
nice.
You got some good ones. Patrick Surtain rookie card, got one of those, and a Bobby Witt rookie card. So,
dude, that's awesome. You must have been better than me this year. I think you get.
I was pretty good.
Yeah, I must have been.
2022 was good to me too.
Yeah, for sure. And dude, Underdog's a cool shop. Love. It's. I think there's two. It's for two kinds of people. It's like dudes and collectors.
Yep.
And then the overlap, obviously. So I love Underdog.
But they're open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights a week. So remember, always bet the Underdog with Underdog Collectibles. Go check them out. Tell them that more important is just singing. They'll love that. Basketball. Actually, I have one question for you before we get into basketball because I'm not ready to get into that just yet. We asked another question on Twitter this week. The best athlete you ever played with or against? I want to hear yours because I feel like ours might be some similarities.
I did
play against Devin Young. So
I did not. I don't think.
You didn't play in that game?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It was the Jamboree, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not play in that Jamboree.
Okay.
I'd like to hear yours first. See, kind of, because I have a few in mind.
So, Devin Young is one that I can think of off the top of my head. So I ran against Daryl Rollins Davis at Fulton, and he was the state championship in the 100 meter. Ran against him. Trevor Clifton played at Heritage, and then was in the Cubs organization. Played for the Smokies a little bit. The best athlete I ever played with though is Brody Rollins.
Dude, that's kind of my thought too.
Dude was incredible as a sophomore.
Yeah.
I couldn't really think of anybody else that I'm like that went big, I guess. I played. We did play against Jordan Bowden at Windy Gap in basketball, and he destroyed us. So, I guess if you want to count that,
I was also not there.
Dang it, dude! Where are you at?
It's gotta be Brody Rollins for me, and I don't know if Brody likes me hyping him up because I always hype him up. He's legitimately probably the best athlete I played with.
Yeah, 100%.
There were some good ones. There were some good ones on there.
Yeah, there were some good ones.
I feel like all mine are so obscure, only you would understand them.
Well, who else you got?
Like, I know this is going to...
I know you're thinking about me, of course, but other than me and Brody Rollins.
Two guys that if they had played together for our entire high school career, Anthony Hamilton and Lucas Reed were two of the... And they were like athletes in the sense of like the positions they played.
Mm-hmm.
But they were just freaks of nature.
Yeah.
They were... It was insane that I wish they could have played together for 4 years. It would have been... What? Because that defense was already so good.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
So I feel like that only you would get that. But
okay, yeah, no, you're fine. I didn't know if you had any more like in soccer or anything.
There was this one kid. He was actually the state Gatorade Player of the Year. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He played soccer at Catholic, and I'm not kidding. He was the most technically gifted player I've ever seen in my life, and I played against him, and he's obviously not Messi level, but in the sense of high school soccer, it was like playing against Messi.
Yeah,
it was insane. I wish I could. Tim. I feel like his name is Tim something. He's so good.
Tim.
Tim.
Sounds like a soccer player's name. Tim Howard. Is that who it was?
Yeah, Timmy, the goalkeeper at Everton.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get to basketball real quick. Another rough one to watch. I mean, it's just like it's the norm. Tennessee's got an elite defense, but the offense, if it's through Vescovi. Vescovi, it seems like, is our only offense at times. Maybe Zakai, but those two guys, and that's it. That's our only offense. I don't think we have a ton of depth, and so I mean it hurts our offense even more when we're in foul trouble, which I guess that makes sense. But
yeah, I mean,
I feel like Olivier could have had a good game the other night, and he was just in foul trouble the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, he played. I thought he played great when he had the opportunity. I mean, not all of his fouls were just dumb fouls. I thought he just played really hard. I think that's when he's the best, is when he just plays really hard. Now he's got to find a way to stay out of it. Don't get 5, especially in these kind of games, which I guess is the only time they're going to come. But Ole Miss, I thought Ole Miss played. I thought they looked really good, especially on offense, and I think that's big. That your defense can carry your offense on some of their worst nights in the SEC too, on the road, which I know is a 4 p.m. game or 4:30. But yeah, I'm encouraged by that. I think that's my big takeaway from this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's you have some guys that are struggling though, like Julian Phillips. Just I don't know what has happened. He just kind of hit a wall a little bit, just struggling offensively. I feel like he's the guy that can beat somebody off the bounce and just can't get to the rim, or I don't know if it's just like he doesn't move enough and he's not getting the ball enough. I don't know what it is, but something's off. Tyreek Key looks timid. He can't find his shot either. And it's those two guys that we've seen it. So it's weird that like both of them have kind of just hit this wall at this point.
And we've seen it against good competition too. Right. It's not like it was Florida Gulf Coast, which I'm not saying that they're not a good challenge early in the season, but it's not Kansas and USC where they played great. They've looked good against good competition.
Yep.
So this is we've got to find it. It's a good challenge too to start out SEC play. Yeah, you need it from those guys who you've seen it from really bad.
Yep. I mean, I just think that this is what you're going to get. Tennessee's going to win a lot of basketball games, but it's going to be games that are, in the 60s. It's not going to be fun to watch. I'd rather just play no defense and just score a bunch, but, this is our team.
Yeah, and it's going to be –
I don't think it's changing.
No,
I feel like they're good. Like, they're a good basketball team. But, man, it's just like we should be that Ole Miss team by 30.
When they struggle, it's only on the offensive end. Right. And it's a struggle. And I hope it's not your kryptonite all season. Which I know you're saying it's going to be, but I hope you can find a way to be more effective more often at some point.
Yeah, hopefully you find it at some point, because like it just takes one good shooting night from a team, and we saw it against Ole Miss in the first half, and they were hitting shots, and we weren't, and that's how we got down by 10. That's how Colorado beat us. So hopefully you do find it, but I just have a bad feeling that it's just going to take one game in the tournament, and I guess you can argue that all the time, but it just seems like it's going to be a common denominator, and then at one point it's just going to bite us in the ass and beat us.
Yeah, and find a way. I hope you said it is what it is. I hope it's not. That's it's got to change. Yeah. I do. Did you think Zakai Ziegler struggled defensively? I thought that was.
I think he got tested a little bit. Yeah.
I just don't think he looked. I don't think he looked as fast as normal, and I don't know if it's just because Ole Miss was getting around him that fast. I don't know, or if it was he was just because he did get banged up. How did that? I don't know. I mean, that was midway through the first half, at least, when he got obliterated on that floater.
Yeah.
No
I
foul
don't
call.
know how that was.
But it looked like shoulder. But I don't know. I hope he's not injured. I guess it's. But I hope
Yeah, I mean, I feel like part why he was so good last year is because we didn't need him to score points. I feel like this year, like him and Vescovi, like hey, you have to score. Like we don't have anybody else at this point, so it's like I don't know. Maybe we're, you can't really focus on both ends, or you are focused on both ends and you don't excel at one. I don't know what it is. It just seems like it's a little off. And he played fine. Like he didn't play bad.
I mean, he was one of our better players. Yeah. I just think he has to have a better night for this team to carry through.
Yeah,
an SEC schedule. I think it has to be. Like you said, him and Vescovi. Those have got to be your guys.
Yep. Until somebody else figures it out. Hopefully, Julian Phillips, I don't know. Hopefully, he figures it out soon. Because I feel like, he at that one point when he had that good game, I forget who it was against.
Was it USC? Was that his?
Yes, it was USC.
Game?
I wanted to say Florida State. I kept seeing gold and red, and yeah. USC, and it was like, oh man, he's gonna plummet up the draft boards, and now he's kind of. I think I saw one where he's picked 38th overall.
Dang, that's crazy. He dropped that fast,
and
it's not been long that he played.
The thing behind it was Tennessee's freshmen have not played or have not translated well to the NBA under Rick Barnes is what the wording was. And
I don't entirely disagree, but I think it's too early to tell with Kennedy Chandler.
Well, I think it was mainly Keon and Jaden, Jaden, because Kennedy was a 38th pick too. So I guess what he was saying he's probably a top 15, 20 pick, but he's, lower down the draft boards because, Tennessee's freshmen tend to not translate well.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. Yeah.
And Keon's, carved out somewhat of a role, but, I don't think he'll ever be a big starter.
Right.
So,
all right. I'm excited though.
Adu's our best big. That's another note I have.
Adu, I love Jonas Adu. Jonas Adu fan club, founding member right here.
Yeah,
I think he can be. He looks so dominant at times. He's got to look dominant for 30 minutes though.
Yeah. He just eats boards, and that's something at this point, I don't know why Urosh is playing. I don't with Awaka and Adu, maybe not playing because I feel like maybe you have to play him because he's your fourth big. But why is he starting? Because you can't tell me you don't want to mess with the camaraderie of the team. Hey. We almost lost to Ole Miss with no one in the stands. Let's play with the starting lineup a little bit and see what happens.
Credit to that student section. Did it get bigger throughout the game?
I don't know. Maybe oh crap, we might actually beat the number 7 team. Let's go. Let's go.
It looked like it grew. It did look like it looked like it was growing throughout the game. But yeah, I think Adu is very, very good. And I think he's got to be your best one. He has his highest ceiling. I don't know if he's good enough to be starting over Uroshi yet. Like, I feel like he has to take that next step. Because I agree, it probably should be, but I feel like that's on him. He hasn't looked good for his entire time. You know, I don't know what his plus minus is, but it feels like it's probably not head and shoulders better than Urosha's.
Well, Urosha's.
Yeah.
I mean, it just drives me insane that, like, if we stood next to each other, he would, like, I feel like he would think we're the same size. He plays like he's 5'10".
I think he does show like minutes, not as big flashes as Jonas Aidoo, but he does show flashes at times that you start to believe in him. And I think, I don't know, is it enough to, like, Jonas Aidoo has to dethrone him as the starter? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Like, you think it's to that point is what you're saying?
Yeah,
and I just don't know if it is.
Like, yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I'm just like, why not try it and see what happens? I mean, what if you're playing him that many minutes anyway? See if it does help.
Yeah. I won't.
I mean, you're already, like, Zakai is already coming off the bench. Like, it's not like you're like, oh, you know, you don't want to use everybody at the same time. Well, I mean, maybe that makes him play better. I don't know. It didn't seem to work with Zakai, so he moved him back to the bench. So, I mean, just play around with it.
Yeah, I think
maybe at this point you waited too long to play around with it.
Well, that's another point, though, especially because I just don't know if you get Josiah Jordan-James back. I think this lineup may have to be moved around a little bit to get to its full potential. So I'm interested to see that.
He's not coming back.
I don't disagree, but I think it seems like he is trying.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he went through warm-ups at Ole Miss, but it's like they're saying nothing's wrong with his knee. It's just uncomfortable. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either, but it also seems like it also may be a cop-out for something that's actually wrong. Like, is that them just kind of no commenting
maybe
the situation?
Or is it I guess you're just to the point now where it's just like, if we get him back, cool, but we're not expecting him to come back. Like, you can't count on him for a single game.
I agree with that. You can't count on him, but I don't know if I'm convinced he's 100% out. That's all I'm saying.
Need him back. I would love to have another guy shoot a three, because it's Vescovi's making a three, or we ain't making any threes. Zakai's, I would like to see what his 3-point percentage is, because it can be good.
Yeah, you said you'd like to see it. I'm good. I don't need to see it. And I love you. But all right, let's move on from hoops. We talked about it. We're through 2022. On to the
6 years,
on to the new year.
We've been doing this thing for 6 years.
It's a long time.
Happy anniversary, Caleb.
Our baby's getting old.
Yeah.
Going to first grade or going to she's probably in first grade.
When are you taking me out to dinner?
But yeah, it's we're gonna do most important of the year and fail of the year in place of. I also thought it was good to do this too because we missed Sunday show, so get to kind of make up for that. Cool. I also have two for each category. I have one kind of just like sports realm, one Tennessee related.
Okay.
Football, like Tennessee sports related. So, sorry, I probably should have told you that before. I don't know what you prepared. Are you ready, or you want me to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
we do most important first.
Yeah, we'll do most important first.
Okay.
I'll go my just kind of overall, like, Messi winning the World Cup is at 35 years old. You get him winning player of the tournament. It's an insane. It was awesome to see. Like, to witness that in sports is insane. That's got to be your moment of the year. It's got to be.
I love that you mentioned his age, because that was a big like joke with LeBron. They had mentioned like he's 38 or whatever, 36.
I mean, it's just cool too. Another thing, it's like knowing LeBron was going to retire after the finals. Like, you knew Messi's international career was done. This is the last game, so there was a ton on the line, and it was.
Yeah, he took
like I said,
the Peyton route. I mean, Tom Brady would never.
He didn't trade teams though, because those guys are He didn't.
Wait, what?
He stayed faithful. Messi never traded teams to win championships.
Well, I think part of it was the Colts kind of got rid of Peyton Manning
No, yeah. But
for Andrew Luck. And, look how that turned out. Good for them.
didn't he regret retiring? Didn't he say that? Or how he retired, maybe?
I'd like to see what he's doing now.
He seems like a growing mushrooms type of guy.
Yeah, probably like on a farm somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what quarterback does that, but he seems like that. What's your most important of the year?
Is it
Is
Cohen?
it no. It's
Plummer.
Another
Plummer.
Denver. Yes, Jake Plummer, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So my most important is the Tennessee Vols, man. We're back. It feels good. Top 10 and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Feels great.
This was legitimately the most fun I've ever had as a Tennessee fan, and I think everybody could say that.
Yeah, because we number one.
Well, I guess everybody our age. And
yeah, we're finally old enough to we can travel and drink and tailgate and things like that. So
well, I think it's even more than that. We've just never been good while we've really been cheering. I think it's just that we've experienced a good football team finally.
Yeah, felt good.
I think it's.
It was one of those games where you kind of talk trash about hey, whoever was coming in, we were going to beat them, but you didn't really think that. But this year, you're just dude, we got a damn good football team. LSU, we're coming for you, baby. And we did. What was his name? The Tiger? Mike the Tiger?
Mike the Tiger.
God.
Yeah.
What a P word.
Yeah, my most important was my Tennessee related one was specifically October 16th, Tennessee versus Alabama. That is going to be the greatest night of my life. I'm sorry. I know that I peaked that night. So that moment specifically was.
I framed the rest of my cigar.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You have to show me that sometime.
Are you coming over here in a second?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll show you tonight.
All right.
You said sometime.
I didn't know if we wanted to. Yeah. All right. I didn't want to tell our plans to the world.
Okay.
I know we're together.
Yeah, me and Caleb literally live a block away from each other half the time.
Yeah. It's true.
All right, you got another most important.
No, I have.
You said it was Alabama.
I have fails.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tennessee Alabama game. So kind of recent, but also throughout the year, it's John Calipari.
Oh, okay.
Early in the year, loses to St. Pete in the first round. Then he makes the comment pretty much that Kentucky's a basketball school. Gets a Mark Stoops rivalry, a little civil war going on between them, and then that loss to Missouri. I mean, that was the worst.
Yeah,
I've probably ever seen Kentucky look.
Yeah, I bet Kentucky was in a parlay for me. And I was like, oh, that's easy. It's Missouri. But
yeah,
maybe Kentucky's not good.
Yeah, it was John Calipari. That was mine.
I like that.
And he started the year off hot with St. Pete, finished year strong with Missouri. It was
what a guy.
He covered end to end.
What a guy. Good for him, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I did see a tweet today. It was Kentucky basketball versus Kentucky football in the last 70 games or something. And the football program has a better percentage in 70 games than the basketball program.
I love that stat.
Yeah. I don't know what it means, but yeah.
Speaking of stats that I don't know what it means, did I send you the SEC versus Power 5 in the regular season? Did I send you that stat? They SEC versus Power 5 teams, other Power 5 teams, they're 9-5 and 2 of the losses is to Florida State.
God, I forgot LSU in that freaking
I don't know what that means, but it's
debacle.
interesting.
Oh my God. Special teams was definitely running with Farmer Fran that week. I mean, oh my God.
And the best part about that is, yes, LSU looked terrible in that game, but they were the SEC West champions. And Florida State, who knows?
Are they winning right now? What was the score of that?
I don't know. You turned the game off, so I can't watch it.
It was 25-25. It's 32-32. Florida State is about to score. They're on the 11. It's 3rd and 6 with the 145 left. So.
All right.
I still think Mike Norvell sucks.
I don't disagree. Sucks might be a strong word, but I don't disagree with the sentiment.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like a level. I don't know what the term is, but he's just like a slight level above sucking.
Yeah, I mean how about Ole Miss just crapping the bed at the end of the year? You hate to see that. I mean, it's. I feel like those 2 programs are like very up and down because they utilize the transfer portal so much. I don't think you can build your team on the transfer portal. I just don't. Like Michigan State's the same way. Like it's cool. Like you get 1 or 2 guys in there that can make a difference, but that's probably all you're really gonna get. If you're like really building your whole team around it, I just don't think it works. I mean, Oklahoma, look at them.
Yeah. I mean, USC pretty much did it, but it also all the transfers came from Oklahoma.
Yeah, they knew who they were getting. Like quarterback is a different thing because I feel like that's based on fit and where you're going and things like that.
Oh yeah,
but like I mean, Zach Evans to Ole Miss, he didn't do anything. They played a freshman over him.
They played, and that freshman played good.
Yeah, he balled out.
So it may have been just he's that good situation, but yeah, I agree with that statement that you can't build teams. You can fit pieces in, and if you have a solid team, but you can't build it brick by brick, as our good friend would say.
You mentioned him earlier today. Or was he yesterday?
I mentioned Butch Jones.
No, his beloved quarterback,
JG.
Yeah, you sent me a tweet and it was like the back of the official's head said JG.
Oh yeah. No, I when I saw that I was like, oh, you know what I immediately thought of? It was if you're thinking about the game, is that the game? Yeah, you know the game.
Yeah,
that game. So they got me.
Love it.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign off here. Happy New Year. Are you're looking at me like you're not ready?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I was just gonna say, go Vols tomorrow. Let's get it done,
dude. I'm so excited. I feel like it's going to be the most.
Vols have to win the Orange Bowl. Okay,
I feel like it's the coolest. It's the coolest game ever.
I have the picture
of. Game.
I have the picture of Josh Heupel holding orange just in case Tennessee wins. I can't wait to tweet it out. It's coming out.
You heard him. You got to do it. All right. Yeah. Go Vols.
Guys, thanks for listening. Go check out our sponsors, Underdog Collectibles, Ham and Goodies. Love those people. Just go check them out. They're awesome. Thanks again. Happy New Year. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.